Greetings everyone, my name is Bashimane Bohopane. Welcome to Bohosi Kupe channel on YouTube. Please do subscribe so that you can keep up to date with what we post and what we bring to you, because we definitely will be bringing something to you that is very unique, something that you've never seen anywhere in terms of how to decipher the hieroglyphics and get um, an in-depth meaning of certain words. Today we're going to handle this topic of Hapi, the nectar of abundance, um, and we're going to dive in and look at things that even from the linguistic perspective they've never been examined, like how we're going to do it today. Of course, the presentation is short. We like to keep it straight to the point. We don't like going for hours on end and and getting all convoluted, because it should be simple. Really, it should be like simple and straight to the point. So let's get right into it. Here we go. So what is the purpose of this presentation? We are going to uncover the proper reading of Hapi in order to determine its meaning, and we're going to examine the name as it pertains to the Nile River and its meaning. And we're going to reveal another name of Hapi tied to his title as Lord of Fishes. Okay, yes, Hapi has another name. Okay, and it's all in plain sight. All right, so points on Hapi and what is known by linguists, historians, and archaeologists, and wanna be like myself. All right. Um, he was worshipped throughout Egypt, but was particularly popular around Aswan and Gebel el Silisila. Hapi was a deity of fertility. He provided water, food, and the yearly inundation of the Nile. He was also known as Lord of the Fishes and Birds of the Marshes, indicating that he provided these creatures to the Egyptians along with the Nile itself. He was also associated with Osiris because of his link to the Nile and fertility. Personally, I think that he's another Osiris in a sense. Okay, but that's a discussion for another time. All right. Happy Hep Hap Happy was probably a pre-dynastic name for the Nile. Later on, the Egyptians just called the Nile Iteru, meaning the river, and so it became the name of the god of the Nile. Nile comes from the Greek corruption Nilos of the Egyptian Nui, which means water. I disagree with this this attempt to try and connect the word Nile to Nui, but that's another a topic for another day. I would like to touch a little bit on this, but not too much, on Iteru. Iteru is the word Iteru is actually found in a couple of languages. It's found in the Kinyarwanda language in Rwanda, and it is also found in the Maasai language in Kenya, and also in Tanzania. Okay, they call the river a river is called Iteru. Okay, um, and I think also from the Bambuti, the Twa. Okay, they call a river Iteru. All right. Okay, let's continue. All right. Um, Most people, if not all, people know some of these things that are before us. These are, this is the name for the deity Hapi. Okay, I've labeled the logograms, and of course with corresponding uh, um, sounds. Okay, so that it is easier to follow for those who don't know already how to read the hieroglyphics. Um, the first logogram is a consonant ha, and the second is an sound. It's an extended arm. The third one is a p sound. The y sound or e sound is not shown here, is not here, but only the p sound. However, in other hieroglyphics, as you will see, that it is found. So it appears that our ancestors actually sometimes omitted certain glyphs in order to try and fit words, okay, depending on how big of a space they were writing in. Okay, so they would conserve some room. All right, so we have 4 and 5 as determinatives, a 5 being a determinative for a divinity, okay, and 4 being a determinative that tells us that what this word is talking about, which is water. Okay, and some other words to consider. Okay, 1, 2, 3 we've already discussed, and then number 4, there you have it. You have the y or e sound included here, and then you have 5, 6, and 7. Normally linguists do not actually read number 5, but I do read it because it tells us something about this word. It's actually this part is actually a complement to the first part. They're connected. And it has a definite meaning, but which I think for some, maybe for whatever reasons, linguists, they maybe don't know. They don't know that these words actually should be read. Okay, and then of course there's the determinative of a divine being. Okay, so this is mer, number 5, and then we go to this one. Same thing. Okay, 1 up to 5, hep, mer, and 6 being a determinative that goes with 5. All right, and of course complementing 1 to 4. All right. So what is this deity? What is this deity telling us? Okay, he is naked. Okay, and nakedness like this, or is called Hepa in Setswana. All right, he's indecently exposed, Hepa, and he is carrying a tray with some nourishment. And in Setswana, we say Hepa, meaning to nourish, to feed, to provide with abundance of food. Hepa. So already from this, we can see some clues from these two. Now there's a third thing. He's got 1 breast. Okay, breast is something that is given by a mother to their infant child to feed them, and that act of feeding the child is also called Hepa in Setswana and Sesotho. Okay, so Hepa is to nourish, to feed, to provide with food, abundance of food, etc. So we can already see that the image itself is telling us or is giving us clues on how to actually call out his name. Okay. And then we go back to the first one that we looked at, and how we read it is Hepa or Hapi, meaning nourisher. Hapi is nourisher. Hepa is to nourish, feed, provide with food and abundance of rich foods. Okay. And Then we have these, okay, pertaining to the Nile River. Okay, what do they tell us? I need to fix this. Somehow it keeps uh, not wanting to save this, no matter how many times I change it. Okay. Um, so logograms 1 to 4, we already know how they pronounce happy. Happy meaning to provide, or hepa meaning to provide with nourishment, abundance of food, abundance of good things. Okay. Then we have this also that linguists do not read. I read it. It goes along with the N35A glyph. Okay. And then you have the determinative for a something that is held in high esteem. Okay, because it is on a pedestal. Okay, it's held in high esteem. Okay, how do we read it? I read it as Hapi Kedi. Hapi Kedi, it means provider of torrents or inundation. Okay, Kedi is flowing water in a form of an inundation or a torrent. Kedi. Okay, because this is taken from the kad kd consonants. Okay, and of course the linguists couldn't see that, or maybe I guess maybe it didn't really matter, so long as the first four letters, the four logograms were meant something. This didn't really mean much, because I guess maybe there wasn't a reference or something that they can look at to be able to decipher this. Okay, but this means inundation, or a torrent, or a heavy flow of water. Okay, Gedi. Then we have this one, 1 up to 4, we already know. Number 5, again, linguists exclude this one. And then we have a determinative, 6, and then 7 and 8, 7 being is being left as a determinative by linguists, and 8. Okay. Of course, this is a reference, either a reference to water or land. Okay. Now, I read the sh, which is number 5. Okay. It is a causative suffix. Okay, and it is hapisha. Okay, or hepisha. Right, and it just simply means a portioner. Right, a portioner, one who gives a portion. Okay, or something that gives a portion. All right, and then of course we have 7 mare, a portioner of. Mare is how can I say, fertile waters. Okay, or rich waters, not just any kind of water. Mare, but mare also is the amniotic fluid. So looking at this, you think of what the amniotic fluid does for an infant in its mother's womb, for a fetus in its mother's womb. It actually is the transfer of nutrients, okay, to the baby. So nutrients pass through the amniotic fluid to reach the infant, okay, in its mother's womb. So for the ancient Egyptians, this was very important because they saw the river Nile like a mother, just as we've already shown previously, right here, that they looked at it as a mother who, you know, um, depicting Hapi, who's a male, with a breast. Of course, this is something that is unique in African traditions because we have actually uh, our, how can I say, female mothers. I'm sorry, not female mothers, female or male mothers. Okay, male mothers. That's what I meant to say. Male mothers that are called uncles in the West. Male mothers. Okay, they they take the position of a mother in the family. All right. Um, all right. What was I? Right here. Okay. And the next one. Okay. 1 up to 4. Okay. Same thing as before. And then we have 5 and 6. This is mare. Okay. Torrents or nourishing waters. Okay. Or inundation. Same thing over here. Happy mare. Happy mare. Okay. Now moving on to the next part. All right. The Lord of Fishes. Okay. We see um, some symbols. Okay, symbols that are all over this image, but I will focus on certain ones for the purposes of this presentation. He has a fish that is on a pedestal on his head. Okay, and there's a fish right here that is on a written on a wall. Okay, on a pedestal too, and then of course water and mare. Then he has red hair. Okay, this will be important when we go to the next slide to explain what this is about. He has red hair, and he has a red thong with strips of cloth hanging and dangling. All right, this is very important too. All right, next slide we go. All right. All right. So Lord of Fishes. All right. So the fish, the type of fish that we see here is called the Pseudocranilabrus multicolor. Pseudocranilabrus multicolor. Don't worry. I'll explain what that is. It's a scientific term for this fish. It is red. It has red by the tail. It has red by the on its fins. Okay, and we see that theme expressed on the body of Hapi, the deity Hapi. He has red hair, which represent the dorsal fin at the top, and then he has these thongs, right? Thong strips that are red in color that represent the pelvic fins, which are also red in color. Okay, because the thong itself can, represent the red tail. Okay, um, what does this all mean? This is a type of fish that, when you look at dictionaries, linguistic dictionaries, this is the word that you're going to find: Hepen pen. Okay, that's how it would be. I guess maybe it would be sounded: Hepen pen. But what is this? This is a mouth brooder fish. Mouth brooder fish. Okay. In Setswana, this word, it would be pronounced Hepa nana. Hepa in Setswana and Sesotho, Hepa nana. Hepa nana simply means to take and hold the young by the mouth. Okay, that's what that word means. To take, to suck up the young and hold them by the mouth. Okay, so the word in itself, it tells you, if you're able to decipher it correctly, it tells you what type of fish it is. It's a mouth brooder fish, which is the Pseudocraniolebrus multicolor. Okay, this type of fish, or the mouth brooder fish, is found all the way from the Malawi, South Africa, and all the way up to Egypt. Okay, these type of fish, right? There is one particular one that actually has the color of the body of Hapi, but in this instance, Hapi is representing like the various species of this type of fish, the Pseudocraniolebrus multicolor. There's a particular fish that is actually blue. It's electric blue in color. Okay, and that type is only found further south. All right. So to conclude, what have we learned? The Neter Hapi's name in Setswana Sesotho is Hapi, which correctly defines his role as a provider of abundance and nourishing foods. His name can be deciphered correctly using his appearance, Hepa, which means to be indecently exposed or to be naked, and he carries a tray decked with offerings. This act is to Hepa, which means to feed, nourish, give abundantly, or Happy, which means one who feeds, nourishes, or gives abundantly. Then the Nile River from ancient times was known as Happy Kedi or Happy Mari, due to its ability to give nourishing waters for the seed beds. Okay, this is something else, but I felt that it was necessary to explain this because the Kedi, or in Happy Kedi, is also a play on the word Kedi itself, right? Kedi in this case can also mean seed bed. Okay, that is seeds planted in a bed that is ready to be watered. Okay, and mare also is a play on word, as we have a play on the word mare, and marau. Marau are also dry fields that have not been watered yet. Okay, So Happy Kedi or Happy Mare, but we can also read it as Happy Kedi or Happy Marau, which would also make sense because the Nile River actually provided water for farms, okay, or for the fields, which led to an abundant produce or abundant production of food. He is lord of fishes who brews abundance in his mouth, like the pseudo-chronilabras multicolor, or what is called the Egyptian mouth brooder. Okay. All right. So um, that is what I have for you today. I hope that was very insightful and helpful in understanding the name of this deity. I know it sounds like maybe something very small, but a closer look will actually uh, show that the importance of deciphering or reading the names correctly. I'm not saying this is the only way to read them, because there may be other languages that read read it differently using the same consonants, but different vowels. But if the meaning is the same, it doesn't matter, right? But since I speak Setswana and Sesotho and other local languages, I'm able to look at the images and know what the story is, what has been told, by the image, because in the image itself is contained information, you know, about the name of a specific thing, or even what is actually taking place. It can actually be described using various words, and you're able to arrive at the correct uh, decipherment and explanation of the name. With all that said, um, please don't forget to subscribe to Bohosi Kupe channel, so that you can stay up to date as we bring you a different perspective on hieroglyphics and ancient Egypt, from a perspective that you won't find anywhere else. Peace.